Edge Radio Australia, it's time for a little progress over perfection. One of the best names for a show I've ever heard. This man over here, he is the gentleman who came up with the name. Do you want to explain, before we jump into the show, today is going to be quite an interesting show, to put it mildly, with the subject matter. But again, I always want you to just repeat what the name of the show is about, because I just think it's clever. I like it.
Progress over perfection is about people, especially couples, relationship. Then there is this belief that we must be always perfect.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
We must be perfect. No, we're looking for the perfect partner, the perfect work, the perfect relationship, the perfect moment, the perfect car. Everything must be perfect, okay?
Right.
This thought that we never enough.
Right.
So progress over perfection is about you're good where you are, okay?
Yep.
At the same time, you have the chance and the tools in this world to progress in life.
Which is so important. I think so many of us, we focus on that perfection. Like I jokingly say, I'm a perfectionist without the ability to create perfection. Be kind of striving for it. But, let's face it, you're not going to achieve it. And I think it's the old story of with life, okay, is life all about when you buy an ice cream, like are you really excited when you finish the ice cream, or are you enjoying the journey, right?
Yeah.
Enjoying eating the ice cream. And this is to me, and that's why I love the name of the show, because I love the fact of you're progressing, you're learning, you're growing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, think like our life like a nice dish. Okay. A food. Okay. How long you think it takes for some people to create from the first piece of bread to what actually we eat today?
It's been a while.
You start, and then you perfect it,
over time.
And then you invented the yeast, and you invented the refrigerator, and you invented new technique to make the best bread.
Of course,
your life is like a bread or like a dish. Okay, you can integrate part in your life and make the perfect dish.
I like that. What a beautiful, can you tell he's Italian? What a great way of coming up with it. He goes straight for the food. All right, food. Let's just bring the wine and we'll be fine. Come on. There we go. Now, today's subject is one that's going to be controversial. Let's be honest, right? We're going to talk about one of the big subjects that I think is, look, it's so important to talk about, and everybody's sweeping it under the old carpet.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today, mate?
Tonight, I decide to talk about pornography. Pornography, because it's something that I've seen every day in my work.
Sure.
Majority of the couple come in, they have affairs.
Sure.
With pornography.
Okay.
Can be online pornography, can be digital pornography, can be text message, can be call, can there is everything.
Okay, some of those things I thought was like text messages.
Text message.
I don't even think about that.
No, absolutely. Okay. There's a lot of website that is specialized, especially today with chatbot.
Right.
Chatbot, the new technology AI.
Yep.
They start to text to his imaginary things, and they have conversation with these invented characters.
Okay.
Can be any gender, anything you want to be.
So it's all AI generated.
AI generated, yes. There's one. And then, of course, there is websites like OnlyFans or other like that, or the classic porn, or there is erotica.
Yep.
Erotica can be considered porn.
Yeah, of course it can,
There's many ways to see porn. So many times I talk with my clients I ask them, what is for you porn?
It would be different for different people, right?
It's different. For example, had a couple, they were arguing because she caught the husband watching porn. And she didn't know he was watching porn.
Sure.
So, but he say, look, it's true, I'm watching porn because my desire to be higher, so sometimes you don't want to. So this is my way to masturbate and to take from you some
bit of relief.
No? But it's not about you. I started when I was 14.
Yeah, well
I
before
started
you
to
were on the
watch
scene.
porn 14. I didn't know you.
Yeah.
So it's not something that is about you. The problem is
Yeah.
not about the watching porn many
Mhm.
times. It's
Okay.
about the secrecy.
Okay, because I'm just going to bring a point that I just never heard that before. That is absolutely brilliant because I know a lot of couples have issues with this. This is a big thing, okay?
Yeah.
But from the point of view of, look, let's be very honest, right? All of us, okay, in today's society have watched porn from very, very young, okay?
Yeah.
Well, when I say all, just about all. I'm sure there's someone there, okay?
90% of the population, especially in the Western world. We don't talk about the other world.
Yep.
The Western world, 90% of population.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
But the point that you've made about starting so young, like we're introduced to it so young. It's not about the other person. It's not about the person you're with. It's not detrimental to them, or from the point of view of you're not. Like there's no comparisons and all of that. It's something that you introduced in your life or was introduced in your life a very long time. It's become pattern-like, I guess.
Yeah, it became a pattern. And today with the new technology is an integration of all relationship.
Okay.
It became very normalized.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but porn is not just the website that you watch online.
Yep.
Porn can be in advertisement, in movies, can be in books, can be everywhere we look around. So pornography, it depends on what is the experience for you what is porn or not porn.
Yeah, I mean, interesting you say that, because just as far as it being all, these different things in different places. So today it was brought to my awareness about a painting that's been painted on a public building in Melbourne. It's porn. It's porn. Like, the picture is absolutely porn. Right?
Look, many times when I talk with couples about sex, I show them pictures or draw or movies scene, and I ask them to identify what is for them that scene.
Okay.
So is erotica, is art, is porn, is good, it's interesting, you like it, would you do it? So in this way you start the conversation about what is sex.
Look, there's a reason why men watch 3 hours of Titanic. Okay, and it wasn't for the storyline.
Yes, Titanic.
When you're younger, let's be honest.
But think about this. There's many cartoons that we were watching when we were kids. And they were pornographic without our knowledge.
Give me an example, because I don't know. I'm lost on this one.
We understand today that is pornography, but is what pornography?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Give me an example, because I'm right now. I mean, okay.
Pinocchio, for example, has been called out to be porn in some ways, because the figure of the what is called in English the magic guy with the big beard. What's called
the Harry Potter?
No. Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Pinocchio go to this what is called the man that manage all the kids.
Like an orphanage, like
anyway, this
I don't know. Sorry.
This figure that is I don't remember I don't remember the actual name, but this figure where Pinocchio goes and he manage all these kids. Okay, and today people believe that this figure is actually they're talking about the child abuse.
I have heard this, and actually not that long ago. And and I don't remember the story well enough with Pinocchio to really put it together.
Yeah.
But I can, I've got my questions about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, even things that are unbelievably phallic, right, that could have been innocent, right? But they're probably not innocent. In Australia, the most quintessential, Mr. Squiggle, all right? That's a phallic symbol. Okay. That knows it's a pencil. That's well and truly.
Yeah.
Okay. And that it could be considered. It could be considered to be grooming at a very early age to introduce those sort of ideas to children. It could be.
Can be.
Depends on where you sit politically.
Depends where you sit. Not more politically, is that where you grow up as an individual. What is your understanding of the culture that you have about something?
True. Very true.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't think it's more today. Is more political because everything is right or left, red or black, but it's more about where do you grow up, what your parents told you about sex.
Yeah.
If you were in a place where men do not touch themselves, otherwise they're going to lose the
you go
sight,
blind, yes.
or you lady cannot dress up properly because otherwise if they rape you is your fault.
Right,
so it depends where you're from.
I take back the term political. You're right, it's very cultural and it's very much about your upbringing. I think you're bang on
I try to take away the politics from
I understand. I just funny enough, that's where I went, and it was not the right word. And I appreciate you.
No, it's fine.
On the right path on that.
Look, I understand there is maybe some political party that are more concerned about the other one. But at the end of the day, what I believe is, show me what you do about that, and then I can believe you. Because there is a lot of groups that talks very well about we shouldn't do that, and they do it. So
hypocrisy.
Democracy. Then they do it. Anyway,
let's jump into it.
The way I want to talk tonight, I want to read this because I did a research on pornography and how to treat properly pornography with couples, and I come across this new research. Okay, so I like this one because it's research based.
Okay.
And it's not from the 1950. Is date 2020, so pretty recent.
And I will put my 2 bobs worth on this one. That is so important because a lot of psychological stuff that's used in so many things in the world today, like some of these psychological principles, right, and papers are from the 40s. I mean, we're talking about something that's 80 odd years old, nearly 90 years old. It's insane to be thinking about that. So I'm not saying that new studies are obviously always correct. What I'm saying is that I like the freshening up of things. I like the fact that they'll go and they'll look at the actual current trends of what's happening in the world today. Because guess what? The world is it's just not the same place.
Oh no, absolutely.
80 years ago.
Absolutely. Even the people that write today the papers and that the study is different. Because if you think until the middle 50, probably maybe later, the majority of the people were doing, the scientists the researchers were male.
That's a great point.
So we have a lot of male-based research. We don't have female. They know their body. They know what they do more than we do. Even if sometimes we want to explain what's going on, but they know what's going on.
Agreed.
And especially in the beginning of the century, 19th century, the 20th century, was this influence from the Victoria era. Victoria is the era from 1840 head. Okay, where because in 1790 around there we have a big revolution. We have a big revolution in France. And
Bastille Day is fitting into that sort of area of time, and big changes in France in there.
No, yes, when people said the French people are more open, French people are more open, sexually. The French are always. What I admire about the French is the way they do the revolution. They don't muck around.
They don't.
When they
know how to protest.
They know how to protest. Yes. In fact, it was one of the director of, I think was Peugeot. One day he fired 100 people. He got shot down.
He got shot, didn't he?
Shot.
Yeah, that's right.
Shot. So the protest.
They take it seriously.
Another stage. Another stage.
Don't upset your workers in France, obviously.
No, what I want to say here is in 1790, we have a big revolution. Young people want to have more freedom. We have a big revolution in France, in England, in the US. In fact, in 1790, I think was one of the states in US was allowing to everybody to vote. Was the only state, and it was New Jersey. The New Jersey, 1970, was the only state in the United States that actually allowed everybody that were living in New Jersey to vote, black, women, or whatever. Then they changed it back to the more conservative state. And they align with all the other states. Anyway, so 1840, we have this Victorian Revolution, want to take back the two sides, man, the provider, and the woman was the one at home.
Okay.
Was easier to organize. And then in the 1560, we have the female revolution or the rest. So what I want to read here is this first two parts. I think is very interesting. Okay. And then if you want to, we can have a second appointment with this. Okay. It says this paper is was wrote by Marie-Pierre Valencourt-Morel, Natalie Rosen, Brian Willingby, Nathan Leonard, I hope I say right, and Sophie Bergen. Okay. Was made in US, of course. And it is entitled Pornography Use and Romantic Relationship and a New Study. Okay. Now, digital technology have made viewing pornography a normative sexual activity, including for partner individuals. Estimate of pornography use for those in heterosexual romantic relationship range from 71% to 92% for men and 34% to 83% for women.
It's quite a range.
Yes, the difference between the two is one. Men usually don't care about if they do it or not.
Sure.
They are more free to talk. And this, my view, but researchers around they view the same. For women, say I'm watching porn, sometimes is viewed as a bad, so they believe. So it's better to lie, to say no. So it's more secure for the women, for them. This is why this big range. For people that cheat, the number is around 60-70% for men, and varies from 40 to 70% for women. So we don't know many women actually cheat, for the simple reason that men love bragging about stuff, where men are less happy to say it. Because again is bad for them. Can be judgmental. No,
I can imagine.
It talk about always about the culture. Is in America, some part in America are very conservative.
True.
Other part of America are less conservative. So it depends. Anyway, for women, yes, compulsive or excessive pornography use is common presenting problem in clinical setting that should be addressed unequivocally. How you say this? Unequivocally?
Quite a word. I can't say it,
as it has been associated with a host of negative outcomes for the user and the romantic relationship. So a very excessive pornography use has been seen as clinically. Me as a clinician, when I started to work with pornography, I need to take seriously. Now we need to understand what is a lot and what is a little.
And I'm going to tend to suggest that when people give that number, everybody lies.
Everybody lies. Now, wherever assessing the effect of apparent individual recreational pornography is the use is not as straightforward. Indeed, despite the clinical concern, the pornography use may be redefining couple sexuality and relationship. Empirical knowledge in this area remain fragmentary, with the diversing result. So the study have different result. Because it depends how much is too much for each individual.
But if they're doing the study, shouldn't they take a big enough sample size that this isn't that that you get more accurate results?
Yes, but it's like when you drink, okay, one beer,
yep,
make you an alcoholic?
Clearly not. No way.
Okay, if you watch 10 minutes porn, for your pleasure because you're stressed, because many times we watch that for release, for stress, because we're bored.
Sure.
Okay, so that make you someone with problem?
I wouldn't think so.
Maybe. For you, for me,
yep,
but for someone else, can be. So
true.
Here say, indeed, despite the clinical concern, the pornography use made redefined couples remains fragmentary.
Okay.
The study, the understanding of this remain fragmentary. Correlational and experimental study have assessed how pornography use is related to relationship satisfaction, as well as sexual desire for romantic partner, and the frequency of partnered sexual activity. These constructs are thought to adequately represent how pornography use may affect the rational and sexual interplay between partners. So here is more understanding how porn between partners, what is the role between partners of pornography. Because for some couples, pornography can be the spark to reignite the sexual desire.
Yep.
And for some can be something that is detrimental.
And this is hard too, because as you travel through your life and you have different sexual partners, some partners will have great desires for high level of porn or interactive porn, as far as from the point of view of introducing that into the relationship, and others might have the absolute opposite and want none of it. So it is difficult. We don't have just one sexual partner in our lives.
Absolutely. Look, today I was asking to a couple, if you have the perfect world, that everything you do, you can do it. You can do it, and there is no consequences. What would you do?
How are those answers?
So what come out?
Yeah.
Everything. Literally, I just wrote down. They have to give me the answer. Give them the paper. With some questions. They give me the answer. So threesome, group sex, or whatever. Yes. They will do everything of that. But
then their partner.
But no, the partner too.
Oh, okay.
And for them was mind blowing. Say, really?
Yeah, didn't know.
I didn't know this. So if you are not judged, would you watch porn?
If I wasn't judged?
If you weren't judged, if there is nothing that happened to you, would you watch porn?
Yes, I would. Right? Yeah.
Now, this is the point. So he talks about what is pornography, what is the effect of pornography between the couples. So research focusing on these important outcomes suffer from key methodological flaws. Narrowing conclusion can be drawn. Most rely on vague recall measurement that may inadequately capture actual pornography use, and all are exclusively based on mixed-sex couple. The present study addressed this limitation as it focused on the association between pornography use and the relationship satisfaction, partner sexual desire and partner sexual activity, and the daily level among mixed sex and same-sex couple. Okay? The theory, So, social comparison theory, done in 1954, contends that pornography can negatively influence a relationship by leading to unfavorable. How do you read this one? Sorry, my English.
It's unfavorable.
Unfavorable.
You're all the tongue on that one.
I'm not the only one. Okay. Unfavorable. Where is it? Upward comparison on the partner, the couple's sexual sexuality to pornography. So this study in 54 was saying that watching porn was bad because the man, and this what we say many times, is bad because then a man compared the sexual activity in the video with your partner.
Okay. Well, that's 71 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
54.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what this research say. Now, in 72, a study in 72 from Zillman suggests that the sexual arousal following pornography use may be transferred to the partner, leading to higher partner sexual desire and activity. Okay. So 20 years later, this the researchers say that sex wasn't damaging, but actually was helping the couple to have better sex.
I would say for some couples, that's definitely a way. I mean, look, honestly, it's the old story of somebody getting the motor running and then, then somebody else takes it for a ride.
Yeah, it's leading to higher sexual desire and activity.
Yep.
Okay. These theories may also be relevant for understanding how pornography use influences a partner. Specifically, pornography use may activate the partner's self-doubt, feeling of sexual objectification.
Oh, okay.
Objectification.
It's a beauty. Not doing badly for a man who 10 years ago didn't speak English, mate. You kidding me, bud.
And those diminish the partner desire and relationship satisfaction. On the contrary, it may create an erotic climate that fosters the partner desire and leads the partner sexual activity. So, on one side, pornography can be bad for you or can be very good.
Here's where I'm going on this. Do you know what I think? It's like anything, right? If it's excessive, it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Like if you drink too much, it's bad for you. If you have too much sex, believe it or not, it's bad for you.
It's bad. Yeah.
Too much food, all these things. Everything in life is about balance.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, when we're talking about pornography, if you're talking about that in a relationship, there's got to be the balance of how both partners feel about it.
Yes.
So if you've got, I don't know, if you've got a relationship where two people feel very, very differently about sex, I mean, you're starting behind the eight ball anyway.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to think about the balance and it's a lot to it.
Think about this. Now, I don't say that is a right thing or it's a bad thing, so just what happened. Think about this. A couple together. Now, this system that we have today, okay, was built in an era where people were living 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you have to live with someone 14, 15 years, 16 years, you can do that. You can be married with anybody for 14 years.
I don't know. I haven't been able to achieve that.
Okay. But if he's a good person, you can marry with.
Yeah.
Okay. You can get along with that. 14 years pass very quick.
Fly by.
Now, the problem is today today I was talking with a couple that is around 30 and they want to be together forever.
Okay.
I told them, guys, you have this age. You want to be forever? I want to be very short because men die before earlier than women. So 75. Okay. You stay together until 75.
Right.
30 to 75 is 40 years.
Yep.
Do you think that maybe in 40 years you can feel something for someone else?
No, I actually disagree with that. I mean, I'm sure people can.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're together for 40, 45 years, that your love should be growing, right? It will change. And okay, and I mean, like I have no interest in chasing tail at 75. right?
No, okay, but if you're together for 40 years,
Yep.
in these 40 years,
Yep.
do you think you will feel only the sex desire for the same person for 40 years?
Oh, nowhere in the world, right? But I'm just saying.
Just want to say.
Yeah, I mean, love and sex
Yeah.
and a relationship are very different things, and they're components, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can reach a point that you feel sexual someone else attractive.
No question about it. Yeah.
Or sometimes the other person is not available, so you're going to have pornography. Many times is about searching what you cannot search. So getting, so cheating, okay, is actually is a research to find the fantasy outside the relationship, but without cheating.
Yeah, because but some people believe, and I'm not one of them. I'll make that very clear. Not that it matters, but some people believe watching porn is cheating. I absolutely don't believe that. Right?
Yeah, that depends from point of view.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very malleable thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would rather, if I was in a relationship and my girlfriend wanted something different, I would much rather she was watching porn than she was going and sleeping with somebody else.
Yeah.
It's lesser of two evils, quite frankly.
Yeah. No, it's fine. There's nothing right and nothing wrong.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
There isn't.
There's nothing right, nothing wrong. What is the couple agreed?
Yep.
That is good.
You just said the couple agreed. Now, how often in a relationship do you sit down and have this conversation?
Well, me personally, with them, yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Between them, before to come to me,
No.
not much. Because people we come up from era where talking about sex desire was something wrong.
Correct.
We learn, the majority of us, we learn about intimacy and sex and pleasure by porn.
That's frightening in itself.
Porn and Hollywood movies. So you combine these two, it's terrible.
It really is.
It's terrible because Hollywood movie present this aura of perfection.
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic perfection many times. The other side, we have this realistic perception that the sexual partner should be always open and ready to go. Real life is totally different.
Doesn't work that way.
But it's where we learn. Because your parents have told you about sex?
Hell no.
Why not?
I had a relationship, very good relationship with my parents. But of all things that I never ever wanted to talk about with my parents, no way did I want to go near sex. No way did I want to talk about it.
Yeah. I learned from my friend.
Yeah.
I learned watching movies and watching porn and doing it and experiencing and, and trying and
winging it. Hey, this works. Yeah. But it's true. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we lived in a world where you could talk to your parents about this and they could actually give you decent advice? But we don't live in that world. And
well, we should. And
we should.
I think now today's schools talk about. Now, I'm not here talking about what is the right age or that is not on me. But I think teenagers should understand what is sex and how sexuality works. For the simple reason that there is too much misunderstanding. What is right, what is wrong. There is too much misunderstanding, too much. What are the boundaries?
Yeah.
What are the boundaries?
That is probably the most important word of the lot about your boundaries.
Boundaries.
Whether they be physical on the sexual sense or your emotional boundaries as well. I think like these are the biggest lessons of life for any relationship.
Yeah. Look, this is big, the thing about girls send nude picture to boyfriends and then have porn revenge.
Which is disgusting.
But there again, and I don't think it's about the parents, for the simple reason that if you parent, think about this, when you were a teenager, if your parents would tell you, don't do that because it's bad for you, would you listen?
Oh, I've now just been given more incentive to go and do it because you want to rebel.
Yes. You need to find a way to teach, explain.
Yeah.
Explain is better word. Explain and give the knowledge to the young generation about what is sex. Because these people are going to have sex.
Of course they are.
There's nothing we can do about that.
Chastity belts, we'll bring those back.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important that people talk about this. And a school, I think, should be the first part or create programs where people can actually sit, but not talking only about the genital part. Talk about what is for you.
See, I disagree with you. I don't think it's a place of schools at all on that one.
Well, where you want to
because
start?
and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because of the indoctrination, because of the way that schools have been so manipulated and the education system, and the people who are getting in these roles are not the right people for these jobs, right? And you know, there's no perfect answer here because particular people are going to be drawn to those positions.
Yeah.
Okay, who might not have the same, I don't know, look, respect for, well, certainly the parents. You know, that I believe they should have. And I think also a lot of these people who are going in these positions don't have the boundaries they should have.
Well, we need to find a place where to start.
I agree.
I say school because I don't know. I think can be the kids are there. So you've got their
attention.
You know, but this shouldn't be a teacher. Should be someone that does a work that actually, like this study here, that explain properly what is to these kids, what is sex, what is right, what is boundaries, and not just about sex. What is boundaries?
Yeah.
What is intimacy for you? What is right?
I would rather see them build. I would rather see, if they're going to have teaching in school, I think they should be teaching people about relationships before they should be teaching them about the physical element of sex.
Well, it's all connected.
Exchange.
It's all connected, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see that progression first before we work into the mechanics, right? Yeah, I mean, I remember sex ed at school, and I mean, I went to a Catholic school, so you can imagine what that was like. You know, the poor guy, like, you know, it was an embarrassing experience for him, the teacher going through it. He wasn't equipped to do it. I mean, I had several, but I'm one particular teacher I'm thinking about right now. But I do think that we never, ever, maybe it's just my memories, but certainly the way I feel about it, I don't think we were ever taught about the emotional connection between two people.
Yeah.
We were just taught about how to physically do it.
Okay. Well, no, I think to talk about something like this, you should have both. So the aspect of the relationship, what the relationship is, understand the relationship, how the relationship work, what are the communication skills that you should implement, what is active listening, that is just listening. Shut up and listen. Listen your partner. Convalidate, understand what is emotional connection, what is emotional interaction. Okay, the society change. Okay, it's changing. So today, men, if they want to have understanding, stay with women, and have a relationship with them, they must be aware about the dreams of the women.
Okay.
And talk about the dreams of what they want to do in life. Because today women don't want to stay at home. Some of them do, sometimes they not. Some women want to be on charge and want to be out there and work and have a career.
Well, that's communication. And when you're having a relationship, you need to use these. There's a reason why you've got two ears and one mouth.
Yes,
right?
But this, I think, is still lacking.
Okay. I think communication between the two sexes is lacking full stop. I really do. And I think that it's a case of, so often when we have a conversation with anybody, we're listening, as we're listening, we're actually not listening properly. We're actually listening to create an answer. Right?
Yeah.
And that is just, you're not living in the moment. You're not actually taking in what that person's saying. Sometimes you really need to stop. And I think that if we did that, male-female relationship or whatever. Exactly. Really cares. As long as it's a loving relationship and it's safe for the people involved, that's how it should be, right?
True adult.
And they have exactly right. But I think, if you listen to each other and you actually truly hear each other, I think then you're going to get a better result.
Oh, absolutely. Communication, it help you with not only with a romantic relationship, with every kind of relationship.
Yeah.
The things I try to explain to my clients, my couples, they actually going to use then at work. The same skill I teach them, how to communicate to each other, they then go and use it at work.
Well, all of these things are relationships. Right? Some have got a bit of nookie involved, some don't, right?
Relationship have 3 components.
Okay.
Friendship, commitment, and
I didn't know there was a quiz.
And
well, I was thinking the physical element.
Intimacy.
Yeah.
Okay. More your friend, more you have a relationship. If you have a commitment, and if you have the intimacy, you have a romantic relationship. Okay. Less you are committed, less you have intimacy. Less you have the friendship, more you have maybe the relationship between the boss and the employer. Me and you, we have a relationship. We have a friendship.
We do.
We have friendship. We have a commitment. That is this one. Okay. Intimacy is a level of me and you talking about things when we need to talk about.
Spot on.
Okay. Exchange about is not sexual intimacy.
No.
But it's a kind of intimacy.
Oh, of course it is, because you're taking your friendship to the next level, effectively.
Then, if me and you start kissing and having other things, well, become romantic relationship.
Yeah, true. I mean, it changes a lot of my lifestyle.
Me too. Daddy, no worries. But this is what's happening now. These 3 components in relationship. So you need all of them. Friendship and commitment is the most important.
Now, on that front, okay, what about a relationship? And I don't want to steer away from this, but there's an element of it.
Absolutely.
So work with me on this. But okay, what if you're in a relationship, an intimate relationship where you love someone, you care for them very, very much, right? But it's a very strong friendship, a very strong commitment, but it's not. But the intimacy at the sexual level isn't there. The chemistry isn't there, for argument's sake.
Can you work on that?
Can you work on that?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I think both parties got to work on that. Like it wouldn't work if one party was up for the change and up for to work on it, and the other one wasn't.
What is the reason why the other person or this couple shouldn't have sexual intimacy, sexual attraction?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it would depend on them.
Is maybe one don't feel attracted to themselves?
That could be one, but I mean, I don't know. This is throwing it out there.
Look, I think sexual attraction can spark like this, or can grow.
Okay.
You can grow, learning from each other.
Right.
So that means if you have a good relationship, friendship, you are committed. And you laugh, you're a good friend, you have, not always sex at the first time is a wow. Probably not the second is not a wow. Now, you have to communicate with the other person what you want.
Well, this is kind of an interesting thing because as far as, in my eyes, my opinion is if you are in a committed relationship with someone who you love, the sex is better. Okay. Okay. So when you have a 1-night stand or a 2-night stand or whatever, those quick things, that they're never as good. Like they might have a bit of wildness to it. I'm not knocking them, but I'm saying that there is nothing, you don't ever go to the sexual heights as you do unless there's that connection. Okay. That chemistry. And that takes time sometimes.
Takes time.
Yeah.
Takes time.
Yeah.
A relationship takes time. You need to put effort and time to understand. You know what is the difference?
What's that?
If you start a relationship and when you're young, you start a relationship because you want to be in a relationship, you sometimes don't say it. I didn't like it with how we did it. So, but you work on that. Now, I don't know what is age of this couple, but more you grow, less you are open to try different things.
Right.
So you say, well, if the spark is not there, I don't do it.
Mhm.
Stop. You like it. It's fun. Or she's fun. You're good together. Give it a try.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. Tell him or her, how do you want to kiss? How do you want to touch? Where
that's
do you
an
want to
interesting
touch?
one. Okay, say on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been having a conversation with someone about this kind of thing recently, right? So I'm being very careful because quite frankly, this is a friend's story and I don't want to, be disrespectful.
Yeah,
right?
of course. We don't talk about anybody, and we talk about just.
That's right. That's right.
If you feel involved in this, is not about you.
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised. But okay, so if you were to say, I'll talk from my point of view. If I was like, kissing is very important to me, right? So I love a girl who can really kiss. And if I'm kissing a girl and the chemistry is not there, or in my eyes she's not a good kisser, right? That's a problem. Now, I wouldn't say I don't like the way you kiss, or I wouldn't I can tell you right now, I could probably be with someone for years, right? Not that I want to be with a bad kisser for years, but I'd never bring it up. I would never bring it up.
Okay. Look, kiss is very important.
Yeah.
And you're right, because kiss is one of the two things I ask people to do to restart the intimate part of the relationship. Kiss and hug. So understand that if you kiss someone today, for example, I kiss someone today, 46, don't like it, okay, I need to understand where this person come from. My question is, how many relationships this person had?
Yep.
What is their history? Because maybe the other person is someone that just maybe divorced, or maybe is being lonely, had a long relationship, maybe a couple of kids. Last time because we talk about women, last time being intimate with someone has been 10 years ago. She doesn't remember how to kiss someone.
So give her a bit of latitude. Gotcha.
Now, it's maybe me. I'm the one that went around and have fun for the last 10 years. Now, have you ever stopped to ask to the other person, how do you feel about the kiss?
No, I would never think to say that.
Because for you, maybe it's bad, but maybe it's bad for her as well.
Well, if you've got different styles,
you think about yourself as a good kisser.
Well, well, that's a great point, right? Okay. Yeah, but I got these big ass lips, man. Come on,
come on.
Okay. I've tested thoroughly, in the world, right? But no, that is true, right? And everybody thinks they're a good kisser, so right. But it's about compatibility, right? And I am actually, in this particular case, I'm talking about myself. I've been with someone who we just weren't compatible, and our styles were very different, and that just sucked. Really did. But I feel like that was something I actually wanted to say to her, like can we just, kiss more and maybe get our act together.
There is other things that work well, because if the problem is the kiss, as you say just now, do it more.
Yeah.
So you learn how to do it. Okay, less mouth, no less saliva, no, don't move that.
Gotta get a mix.
Don't do this, don't do that. Go up, go down, stay.
That's right. That's right.
But you need to communicate. Okay.
It's unbelievably true. I mean, other people in my life, you kiss immediately and the chemistry's there and the timing's right and it just comes together absolutely perfectly. You think, wow, okay, it's Christmas dinner.
But many times those relationships are the ones that maybe in a few months they're gone.
Right.
And maybe the one that you work because you put the work is the one that actually
when you work for something that's got more value, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
This is why I always suggest to the girls, don't sleep the first night with the boys.
I agree with that.
For the simple reason that it's not about sex. It's not about a thing that it's about you think that you make your date fall in love with through sex. Because maybe it's what you learn. But actually, you know who is fell in love?
Who?
It's a.
Sorry?
If you go out with someone,
Yep.
okay, a lady, okay, a lady want to make you fall in love with her.
Mhm.
She having sex with you.
Yep.
Between the two, you know who is fell in love? It's her.
That is so true. That is so true. I'm a red-blooded fella, but I actually do not want to have sex on the first date.
Yeah.
Okay, and that comes from experience. When I was younger, I wanted sex on the first date,
Yeah.
but life's experience has taught me that that's generally not a good move.
Yes.
For longevity.
Longevity.
Mm.
Then, if you want a one night stand, whatever,
Different thing.
absolutely. But if you want something that is good and strong,
Yeah.
spend the first few dates to understand the other person, especially if you're a woman, for the simple reason that if you want a long-term relationship, at the first 8-9 dates, you should talk about what do you do, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, what do you think about family,
Sounds
what
good.
about
Job interview. Jeez.
Well, but this is conversation.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing you. Yeah.
Well, do you want kids?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to go with that with the list. Want kids? No. Yes.
No,
yes.
no.
Yeah. No. But hey, what do you think about kids?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought to have kids?
I
I don't
don't
want
think
to have a kid because I want to go in Portugal next month.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a
Come on.
first. I don't think it's a first date question. I think it's maybe a second date question.
Why not? You want?
Because I don't like a first date becoming a job interview.
No. But look, if you go out because you want to find a boyfriend and you are very tired to listen to this, blah, 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 you go out. You don't have to be an interview.
Yeah. Okay.
During the conversation. Oh, what do you think about kids? I don't want to have kids. You won't have kids. You already know that this person is not for you.
Yeah. I know.
That's it.
But then there'll also be the part, if you're physically attracted to them, let's cut the crap. If you're physically attracted to them, then you think, I reckon I could probably talk her into it. Right?
No.
So many of us do that.
No.
Oh, well, that's certainly
No. But this is the point. You never change the other person's mind.
Yeah. I think it's a bad decision, but we do it.
Yes, we do it because we want to believe that we are the one that's going to change the other person, but we are not.
Probably no. The person is the only person with the skills, capability to actually change themselves. Full stop. Right?
Yes,
we all know that.
But if you know that if you want to have kids or you don't want to have kids, if you know from the first night that the other person is on your line, you think, well, okay, that's good. We have something in common.
Look, I do agree with you. I do. I just don't like the job interview. I think that's where it comes down to. Yeah.
Look, if we have a beer, we're talking about, look, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Huh? Hey, in 6 months, I'm going to Portugal for 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we do here?
Yeah. We're wasting our time.
Why we're wasting time?
Well, yeah, actually, you're telling the intention of the date right there, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure yet. Have a lot of things in my mind. When a man tell you these things, stay far from them.
I like that.
They don't want to commit. They're not ready to commit.
A lot of them are afraid to commit. So there's that to it. But I agree. And like, to wind full circle, because we've got to end the show.
Yes.
Oh my word, we need to end the show. But okay, we obviously have started talking about pornography, right?
Yes.
And why I know that we went off on that tangent, but I want to say that, which I think is kind of important for this reason, is that ultimately what porn is doing, certainly to young minds, right, is giving just unreal expectations, right, of what sex is and all of that kind of thing. And I think it really pollutes so many levels of it, right? Sometimes you want slam bam, thank you, man. Sometimes in life you want porn sex, right? But generally you don't. Generally you want connection with people. Generally you want something with a level of tenderness and love about it. Right?
Agree. At the same time, I'm saying we grew up with the same things as today.
Okay. You reckon?
Well, do you remember the song Ragdoll from Aerosmith?
Yeah.
Okay. Ragdoll living in a movie. Yeah. So Motley Crue were talking about in the music about sexualization of women. So
we didn't know that. I should listen to the words. I just like the guitar, but okay, fine. Yeah, okay,
There's a lot of in history in rap.
No
rap
doubt
in the
about it.
80s is all about boobies and other things. So today is more evident because everybody talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people cheating more today than 30 years ago. Nah, 30 years ago people don't talk about because there were no phones to
no evidence,
take,
mate. No evidence. Yeah.
Okay, kids today are worse than 30 years ago. No, again, because when I was a teenager, many of my friends probably will be in jail today if was the phone around. Okay, so just different.
Yeah. Oh, I'm that guy, and I'm honest enough to say, like, I used to do ridiculous things in cars, right? I just crazy, okay? And nowadays, if there was a phone out there, somebody would have got it, and I'd be wearing those lovely bit of jewelry and right now in a prison, right?
Yes.
We lived in a different world, and these poor kids, and I do feel sorry for them because, having your entire life documented, it becomes very big brother.
Yeah. That the different. This is what I believe. The difference between today and 30 years ago, 60 years ago, is the evidence.
Okay.
But remember this. During the Greeks' time, the Greeks, they were complaining for the future, about the future generation, because they were saying that they were too much open to the different.
The Greeks were saying
the Greeks
back in those days.
The Greeks through each other. The philosopher, they were criticizing the future generation because they were saying that they were too weak. So we have the Spartans, then we have the Romans. So, but generation after generation, nothing is changed. The old generation, we complain about the new generation. My dad generation complain about my generation because we have long hair and we listen to Nirvana. We do, oh my God, the world sucks. And today I complain about new generation because they listen to music I do not understand, but they love it. And they have different way to do things.
Well, there's a song out there. Yeah. Every generation blames the one before. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Yes. It's so true. Mate, we have well and truly gone over time, but it's been a hell of a fantastic conversation. Really enjoyed it with you.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I think we better end the show. Thank you very much for being part of the show, of course. It is Progress Over Perfection here on Edge Radio Australia.
Bye.